Peace, everybody. Welcome to Capital of Combat. The name says it all. I'm Hakeem Branch.
Rob Jarrell.
And today, we're going to recap this past weekend's pay-per-view event, which featured Manny Pacquiao versus Pacquiao-Algieri for Manny Pacquiao's WBO title. We also had Jesse Vargas defending his 140-pound title against Antonio DeMarco. We had Vasily Lomachenko fighting the guy whose name I still can't pronounce. I tried. I really did try, but I still can't pronounce it. Then you had Zhou Shiming fighting in another showcase fight against somebody who almost looked exactly like Manny Pacquiao. I almost thought it was his brother.
Yeah.
I can't remember his brother. Bobby Pacquiao?
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in a while. Anyway, let's get into the undercard, which started with DeMarco and Vargas. Go ahead, Rob.
Well, as we predicted, that would be the fight of the night. They actually probably could have pushed that to the co-main event because it was just a good fight. I mean, you got two guys out here who was going to bring offense, and no defense. So that's what we got. Vargas took it with the decision, which we kind of figured as much, but we said DeMarco was going to give him one hell of a fight, and that's exactly what happened. I actually do want to go back and watch that fight because I'm still not sold on Jesse Vargas. I think at 140, and if he decides to move up to 147,
he could be in trouble.
Yeah, the guys who can actually use defense will take advantage of him.
Yeah. DeMarco is a very tough challenger, and he proved that against Jesse Vargas. But if Vargas really wants to step up to that upper echelon level, especially having a belt in that division, if you have welterweight at any part of your name, junior, full, or super, you got some tough competition. So if you want to hold on to a belt in those three divisions, you got to have some top-notch skill. So he has gotten better in each fight, but he's going to really need to step it up if he intends to keep that belt in this weight class.
Would like to see him fight the winner of Hank Lundy and Thomas Delorme.
That would be a good fight for him. Or maybe he can try to get Algieri off of, we'll talk about what happened with him later on in the video, or Ruslan Provodnikov.
Yes.
Any of those guys would be a good fight for him. Might be some danger in all of those fights, but it would be good for him to, show that skill and step up to the plate. Let's move on to the next fight, which was Lomachenko and that guy who showed up and tried really hard and got beat with one hand. We'll put his name right here in the subtitles. Yeah, it was like One Song Chai Jim. No, that's who fought Zhou Shiming.
Right, it was like Sean Latarn or I'm sorry, Pripiengo or something like that. Look,
sorry.
Like his name, this fight was irrelevant. There, I said it.
Yeah, Lomachenko did exactly what he was supposed to do, which was shine on this guy. He probably would have got the stoppage had he not injured his hand. But he showed the class where he pretty much dismantled this guy. I don't think he won a single round, and Lomachenko only had one hand. Now, in the preview video, we said this was going to be a showcase fight, and that's exactly what it was. He really did showcase how skilled he is. The 126-pound division is on notice, and in our next video, we're talking about Evgeny Gradovich, who has a belt in that division. That guy better watch out because he's got some killers in the 126-pound division, and he's going to have to sharpen those skills up as well. But we'll talk about him later. Lomachenko is probably maybe number 2 in that division. I couldn't even tell you behind who. Let's just put him in number 1. As far as technical skill, he is the best guy in that division. Putting it together, we got the Johnny Gonzalez's, the Nicholas Walters, Gradovich, as I mentioned, Abner Mars is still there. There's some pretty good skilled guys in there, and some powerful guys. So we'll see his chin get tested if he fights any of those guys. Let's move on to the next one. We had Zhou Shiming fighting. He fought One Song Chai Jim.
Yes.
God, yeah. I think that's the gym he fights out of. A lot of the Thai guys use the name of the gym that they fight because, like the guy who fought Lomachenko, using their real name, it's very hard to pronounce in English. So we're sorry. That's why they do, they go by the gym. Anyway, another showcase fight. Zhou Shiming shined on this guy, knocked him down multiple times.
Like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, and this guy, he caught him a little bit late on in the fight. As Shiming started to tire, the combos didn't come as furious as they were early on. But when you're in the same division as what's my man's name? Is it Roman Gonzalez?
Roman Gonzalez and Brian Valoria.
Yeah, Shiming got some polish to get on him before he touches those guys.
Yeah, because if he can't, and this is my beef with Freddie Roach fighters, trained fighters, is that while they're very offensive minded, they're offensively skilled, they're just not there defensively, especially for the level of competition. It kind of happened with Jorge Linares. I mean, he was still an offensive dynamo, but he just got caught a lot, and that's probably why he ended up leaving him going back to Japan. But I mean, you can see the improvement in Shiming.
Yeah, he definitely improved a lot from his previous fights.
He really should have got the guy out of there. I mean, it could have been a much shorter night, but had he taken his time just a little bit with the measuring of the punches, he could have got him out of there.
Yeah, so he probably should work on the conditioning and, like Rob said, the defense. And he's getting there. He is getting there. He will be a champ in that division. If matched right.
Still don't want Roman Gonzalez. That guy's 41-0. He actually just got his 41st win this past weekend.
Yes, and that guy's the goods. The goods.
He might be top 10 pound for pound.
Yeah. So, with that being said, let's move on to the main event, where we had Chris Algieri stepping up to the biggest fight of his career against the legend Manny Pacquiao. I read today that one of Manny Pacquiao's fans died during that fight because he was so excited. That's how big of a deal this guy is. Just let that sink in. Someone was so excited.
He's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, we already mentioned that crime stops when this guy fights in the Philippines. Now people are dying because they are so excited over the butt whooping he put on Chris Algieri.
And that's exactly what it was. Grade A butt whooping.
Yes.
5 knockdowns? Or 6?
It was 6 counted. 2 of them were kind of slips. One of them was nasty. But 6 total. How did we get there? The first thing, we talked about a lot of things in the preview videos. The hand placement. Rob mentioned that Algieri fights out of the earmuffs, and he should not have done that if he wanted to keep Pacquiao at bay. He didn't do it. We didn't talk about the foot placement, but we did talk about the footwork and foot movement. Pacquiao closed distance like that, and there was nothing Algieri could do about it.
And when he closed the distance, he got there really fast, especially with that left hand.
Yes. One thing that made it so easy for him is something that you learn in the gym when you're an orthodox fighter fighting the southpaw, and that's keeping your foot on the outside of their lead foot. Algieri did not do that at all for most of the fight. Pacquiao's foot was almost always on the outside of Algieri's lead foot, which led him into many a right hand, left hand combination. Whatever Pacquiao wanted to do, he controlled the spacing, he controlled the tempo. He was in complete control of this fight in every single second. Yeah,
and what that really did, another thing it did, it kept him out of range of a counter right hand. I mean, Algieri did land the lead right hand
a couple times
here and there, but we already talked about how he does not use his legs and he uses more his waist to put the right hand where it needs to go.
Right.
And then, of course, the jab, he did nothing to step in with his jab and discourage Pacquiao.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Like, he didn't use his jab to create the space. He didn't use it in the ramrod style. He kind of just put it out there. Like, he stood still and flicked the jab instead of stepping into it and changing the distance on it. You can even see, we talked about it in the preview video, Vladimir Klitschko does that. Lennox Lewis did that. Whitaker, Mayweather, Ward, Hearns, Leonard, any Sonny Liston, Joe Louis, Muhammad Ali, the Eastern Assassin, Larry Holmes. That's
taller fighters. I mean, these guys with the reach advantage, not necessarily the most athletic, but all he has to do is a nice stiff jab to time him in. Again, like we said, you can't bring that against someone like Manny Pacquiao. You have to time him. Don't give him that much space in where he can move and not at least be discouraged by a jab.
Yeah, he caught him one time off that double feint left hand. Once. Everybody knows it's coming, but you got to be real special to stop it, and then stop it consistently. And to this day, there's only really been 2 guys that have stopped it on a consistent basis, and that was Eric Morales and Juan Manuel Marquez. And Eric Morales only did it for 1 fight, that first fight that they had. He was able to do it in that fight. Marquez, he did it for 4 fights, just not enough to actually get the win until the 4th fight, where we all know what happened there. But Manny Pacquiao learned a boatload from that. Now, let's keep in mind, Chris Algieri is not on the level of a Juan Manuel Marquez or Eric Morales or Floyd Mayweather. We know that. But that shows you how good Manny Pacquiao is. If you are not on his level, he will destroy you. Even at his advanced age, even though he is past his prime, all that other stuff they say about him, if you aren't the best of the best, you are going to look like you are not the best of the best. It looked like Chris Algieri did not belong in there. Most people said that from the jump. And that's exactly what it looked like. It was a complete and total domination. I gave him 1 round. The judge, 2 of the judges gave him 1 round. It was probably round 5. That 1 round, he caught him in between that double jab fake, and that was it. Every other second of that fight, he looked completely dominated.
And let's face it, the game plan was absolutely terrible.
Oh yeah, that too.
I'm not saying you can't be defensive, but what he did in the Provodnikov fight was not running, it was moving. You can see the offense.
Yeah.
This was not using the ring. This was not ring generalship. This was not moving and answering and fight. This was actually him constantly backing up. It basically running, and I think just capitulating the ring, the fight, whatever, the dictation of the fight to Manny Pacquiao. Had they had a better plan, I think he would at least have made it more competitive. Yeah. I'm not going to say he would have won, because Manny Pacquiao is special.
Yes. I don't know if I said it in the preview video, but I was only going to give him 3 rounds. I thought Chris Algieri would win 3 rounds. He won 1. And Pacquiao made a lot of mistakes. I know anybody saw it, like, he made a lot of mistakes. He was throwing with his hands down. He was rushing in, chin up in the air. But like I said, you've got to be special to take advantage of those mistakes, because he's closing fast and he's closing with power. So you got to be a tough SOB to stand there and risk getting hit with that power to land those counters.
And then that just shows you the confidence that Manny Pacquiao had as the fight just went on. He was like, oh, I can do anything I want to this guy. And guess what? I'm going to do anything I want to this guy. What did he do? Anything he wanted to Chris Algieri.
Yeah, how often do you see Manny Pacquiao throw uppercuts? He was landing uppercuts. I think he went to the body a lot. He doesn't do that a lot. Well, he does with the straight left hand, but I mean, he was throwing hooks to the body. I mean, he did whatever he wanted. He was like, hey, I'm going to work on some stuff this fight. He did it.
He said, F it. My show.
Exactly. So, you know, obligatory post-Manny Pacquiao fight, calls out Floyd Mayweather. Don't lose any sleep over that fight happening. And I'm just going to leave that alone. Floyd is...
It's whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, the other thing that we talked about was the fight card over in England.
Yeah.
That was on AWE. You can probably find those fights online, but it was a good showcase fight. George Groves got the win versus Dennis Duggan. It was kind of tough up until about the 6th and 7th round. Yeah. James DeGaulle with spectacular knockout of
Marco Antonio Parabon,
which doesn't happen often.
Right.
Who else fought?
Anthony Joshua destroyed Michael Sprott, as we all knew was going to happen.
1 round. And
Bellew and Cleverly.
They're
which was
1-1
a pretty
now.
good fight.
Yeah.
And that was the card Roman Gonzalez fought on?
I believe so.
Yeah. He won a decision.
Yes.
He looked really good too. So check that out when you get a chance. That's it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like it. If you got anything you want to add, comment section is below. Make sure you like our Facebook page, Capital of Combat. We also have our Google Plus page, same name. If you have any questions you want put in the Combat mailbag, you can hit us up on our email, capitalofcombat@gmail.com, or you can hit the Facebook page, Google Plus page, comment section down below. Either way, we want to hear from you. We'll catch you guys in the next video, and thanks for watching. Peace.
This is round 1 and you've already lost. They don't seem to see that everything we've done is coming and cost. My fists are on fire, I perform till I perspire. My demons are in a rage, keep thinking that it's a game. I kick rhyme, hurricane, I told them I don't play, I'm liquid.
Black Street Fighter.